Hi, and welcome to another SDI coffee break. And again, we're with Dr. Mauricio Corona. I keep missing the doctor out, Mauricio.
No worries.
You should be
It's good.
telling him, right? Dr. Mauricio Corona, SDI CTO, who's working out of and located in Mexico City. We talked about the challenges in Latin America in the last session, Mauricio. And I just want to maybe talk about what you mentioned, artificial intelligence and automation and innovation, and I know you've been working very closely in the innovation space, and to some degree even looking at really cool new service propositions. Let's maybe talk about what innovation is. What's the importance of innovation in Latin America, and specifically maybe in Mexico?
Yeah, well, innovation it is a process. It always has to be on pushing the limits of what you already have been doing in your organization. And sometimes we think of innovation about the big definitions or the broader definitions, but innovation has to be applied on your context and within your own organization. And you can just innovate by just switching a simple button on your organization, and then you're doing the things differently. Of course, the main engine that will empower organizations in order to be much more innovative. Of course, we have technology, and that's of course when most of the organizations relies innovations with technology. Yes, because technology can help us to do much more faster and much more many stuff that we normally used to do in our organizations in just a single step. The main issue that we have is that organizations hasn't understand that, for example, let's arrive with artificial intelligence, a buzzword. Well, artificial intelligence is not magic. In order to execute and to have the right strategy on AI for your organizations, then you need the three main factors. The first one is data. Data is the fuel. For everything you want to try to achieve on your organizations. The second one is the talent, the skills, highly skilled people. Everybody is talking about digital transformation through AI. But no one is considering HR departments on their digital transformation journey. And then I say, how do you want to achieve digital transformation? How do you want to achieve artificial intelligence if you are not developing the right skills on your and capabilities on your own staff? And the third one is trust. What happens when, yes, everybody wants AI, but when you see an outcome from a specific model, then you say, oh my God, I do not trust in that outcome. So, those are the three main factors. And during our situation, the current situation, and what every single organization is struggling right now, of course, those organizations who started this journey previously, I think that they will be able to move forward much faster than the other ones. The main issue that we have is that right now everybody wants to innovate, and it's pretty much like on cybersecurity issues. What's the budget that you have, the typical budget that you have for cybersecurity stuff on your organization before your infrastructure was compromised, or after your infrastructure was compromised? The budgets change dramatically, because if I have experienced something, then I know and I have the awareness of how this is so important for my organization. Right now, we're exactly in the same point. And the main issue that we are seeing is that maybe organization says, okay, I have budget. I want to spend it right now on everything, on automation, on switching home, on enabling VPN. And what's the main issue? Yeah, well, that's good that you have the budget, but this is a process, this is a journey. You just can't just switch like that. Those are the main things that you, David, you are very passionate about this topic. You, myself, has been trying to push forward to our communities, to our organizations, to our customers, on trying to give them some executive overviews to bring the board on these kind of things. Like, hey, these things are very important. These things are very important. And you know that we have been able to differentiate those organizations who has been working on best practices and on standards, on those kind of things. They are struggling, of course, but they are much better prepared for these kind of situations than the other organizations that hasn't do anything or just a little bit about this. I'm not sure how do you see that?
Yeah, it is interesting. I think certainly over the last sort of few months, well, over the last 18 months, 2 years, we've been looking at developing a proposition. What does AI mean to Service Desk Institute and our customers? And I think it's taken that long to see how the landscape is changing. And I certainly believe, if we're not at a tipping point right now, then we never will be. I think certainly over the last 3 months before the health challenge, I think there was a positioning where this type of technology was starting to be seen as radically changing the way that organizations work. So we're sort of in a place now where we're almost ready to launch an AI proposition for SDI, which is great.
Yeah.
I think even now it's the landscape has changed even more aggressively. I've certainly been looking at the effect of this technology in relation to efficiencies, in relation to repeatable good outcomes, to cost, to control costs, but also now to really protect organizations in situations where they need to have business continuity. And I've seen the way that I've read, and I think I'm seeing the way that people are positioning these types of technologies now with another layer of need. Not just efficiency and continuity, consistency rather, and cost, but now business continuity. Now it's about sort of mitigation, it's risk as well. So yeah, right. I think I agree. Now you've been looking at and you were involved, I think, recently, Mauricio, in a conference
yes,
a conference in
it was very interesting. Last week we had on our schedule the AI World Conference. It was going to be held in Canada, and of course, due to the current situation, it was switched to virtual, which for starting as a starting point, I said this is brilliant, because if we are talking about an AI conference, they just switched this from physical to virtual, just like that. Of course, it's a different experience, because what you are trying to do when you go to these kind of forums is the networking, meeting new people, doing more stuff. Of course, it's different, but it's quite effective the way you transfer the knowledge on over a physical way or on the virtual way. It's pretty much as effective on either side. So it was very interesting. I was able to see and to confirm. Of course, everybody right now has the eyes on this contingency stuff, and then we said, "Oh my God, these kind of things." There were people from Wales telling how they are working on the AI stuff and bringing this to Canada, for example. So it was very interesting. It was very interesting, and I knew that yes, we have been talking about this, I think, the last 5 years. Myself has been working on new product development, like robots, physical robots, machine learning stuff, big data, the last 2 years. And of course, we saw this coming, but I think that we underestimate what these new technologies can do for us, not only in these contingency terms, but generally speaking. And I know that right now the sense of urgency are going to be much more higher. And what we need to do is to start working with the executives on every single organizations in order to increase this awareness. Why do we need these kind of things? And how the new technology will help us and enable to create new jobs. The AI stuff is not robots and that kind of things. They are not just making you lose your employment. They are just modifying the way you are doing. So there are very interesting statistics on yes, every single manual activity that does not offer some tactic or strategic level, then they will be automated by robots or robotic process automation or everything. But those kind of things will push forward new jobs. Then you will need several new roles in order to manage the physical robots, the software robots, the machine learning stuff. You know, that's very interesting. So I think that it will be very interesting for the big economies, for the government, for the organizations, in order to start thinking, okay, this just happened. Yes, we're going to lose jobs. We are just seeing that millions of people is losing their jobs. For example, in United States, in the previous video, I mentioned 7 million jobs has already been lost. So what's the next step? And I think that the next step is to start trying to think new strategies, moving much more faster. And in order to move faster, we will need technology. And once that we have the technology and the right people, then we can bring everybody else to the same organizations, of course, with all of the improvements that we can work.
Good. Well, thank you for that. Look, I tell you what, we're going to close on this one now, and we'll maybe pick up some of those themes and new ones in the next video. So thanks to our listeners for joining us. Thank you, Mauricio, as well, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.